The hunting party returned at dusk with empty claws and hungrier bellies. Matriarch Vesera watched from the high ledge as her warriors slunk through the canyon entrance, their scales dulled by exhaustion and failure.
3 cycles now.
3 cycles since the meteor. Storms had driven the herd beasts into the deep. Caverns where even the Cravathi dared not hunt. Her people were starving. Vesera's gaze drifted to the holding pen where the strange creature sat cross-legged in the dust. The human, Reyna, it had called itself in that soft, pink-skinned voice. They had found her in the wreckage of a ship 2 moons prior, alone, injured, speaking in tongues none could understand. By Cravathi law, anything found in their territory belonged to the clan. The human was no different. Yet this human was proving problematic. Matriarch. Second Claw Theron approached with his head lowered. The cub still refuses. Vesera's throat rumbled with frustration. Koru, her sister's only offspring, orphaned in the same hunting accident that had taken 3 of their best warriors. The cub was small for his age, barely past his first molting, and now he wouldn't eat. 4 days he had turned away from every offering, dried meats, bone marrow, even the precious honey grubs they saved for ceremonies. "Bring him to me," Vesera commanded. When Theron returned, the young cub's ribs showed clearly beneath his emerald scales. His eyes, however, burned with a stubbornness that reminded Vesera painfully of his mother. "You will eat, Koru," Vesera said, keeping her voice gentle despite her worry. "Your mother would not want this." The cub's head swiveled toward the holding pen, toward the human. "Want, Reyna," Koru whispered. Vesera felt her spine crest rise in surprise. The human had no value beyond perhaps ransom or trade. It was property, a curiosity. Yet somehow, in the brief moments when Theron had brought the cub past the pen to view the strange alien, something had formed between them. "The human is not for you," Vesera began. But Koru's next words stopped her cold. She sang to me, like mother sang. The matriarch remembered then, 3 nights ago, when the cub's crying had echoed through the canyon, disturbing the entire clan's rest. The sound had stopped suddenly, and when Theron investigated, he'd found the human pressing against the bars of her enclosure, making soft noises toward Koru's chamber. Not speaking, singing. Humans and their strange customs. Vesera made her decision with the pragmatism that had kept her clan alive for 15 seasons. Bring the human. Reyna stumbled as Theron dragged her into the matriarch's chamber, her legs still weak from her injuries. She was a pitiful thing by Cravathi standards. No scales, no claws, no proper fangs, soft, vulnerable. Yet when her eyes found Koru, they softened even further with something Vesera recognized despite the alien features: concern. "You will make the cub eat," Vesera said in the human's language, the words clumsy on her tongue. They had learned enough to communicate basic commands. Reyna nodded immediately. "Yes, please, he's so small." Small. An odd word for a Cravathi to hear about one of their own. But from this giant's perspective, for the human stood nearly half again as tall as any warrior, perhaps it was true. They brought food, strips of salted meat, water, a few root vegetables scavenged from the canyon floor. Koru turned his head away until Reyna lowered herself to sit beside him. Then the human did something that made every Cravathi in the chamber go still. She took a piece of meat and bit into it herself first. "See?" Reyna said softly, chewing and swallowing. "Safe. Good." She offered the next piece to Koru. The cub's small claws reached out and took it. He ate. Vesera felt something shift in her understanding of the universe. This was not training, not dominance. This was something else entirely, a ritual of trust, of shared vulnerability. The human was showing the cub that she would face any danger first. "Why?" Vesera asked when Koru had finished eating and curled against the human's side, his scales catching the firelight. "Why do you care for a creature that holds you prisoner?" Reyna looked up, and there were those moisture beads the humans produced when emotional. Tears, they called them. "He's a child," she said simply. "Where I come from, we protect children. All children. Even ones that aren't ours." "Wasteful," Theron muttered. "Illogical." But Vesera saw the cub's breathing, steady and peaceful for the first time in days. She saw how Reyna's hand rested gently on Koru's back, not restraining, just present. "No," the matriarch said slowly. "Perhaps not." From that day forward, Reyna took her meals with Koru. Within a week, the cub had regained his strength and begun eating on his own again, but only if Reyna ate first. It became a ceremony, witnessed by more and more clan members as word spread. The human takes the first bite. The cub knows he is safe. Other young ones, orphaned or struggling, began to gather when Reyna ate. She never refused them, even when her own portions grew smaller to accommodate the watching eyes. She tasted first, always first, and then the cubs would eat. When the trading ships finally came and offered a substantial ransom for the missing human scientist, Vesra brought Reyna the news herself. The human's face showed relief, then sadness as she looked at Koru. "I'll miss him," Reyna said. "He will miss you," Vesra acknowledged. Then, with the weight of a decision that would echo through Kravathi history, she added, "We have learned something from you. This custom of yours, eating first to show safety, we will keep it. For the cubs. For the future." Reyna smiled through her tears. "It's not really a custom where I'm from, just something I thought might help." "Then we will call it the first human custom," Vesra declared, "and it will be remembered." As Reyna's ship lifted from the canyon floor days later, Koru watched from the high ledge, his spine crest raised in a warrior's salute. Around him the clan had gathered, not to mourn, but to begin their evening meal. Vesra took the first bite. The cubs knew they were safe, and in the stars above, humanity's reputation grew in ways their weapons and technology never could have achieved. One small act of kindness at a time.